in the South Pacific is a little-known island, one so remote that the islanders are entirely self-sufficient. It's called Anuta, and after months of preparation, we set sail from the main cluster of the Solomon Islands towards this elusive destination. It's one of the smallest inhabited islands on Earth, just half a mile in diameter. It's tiny, but with a population of 300, Anuta has one of the highest population densities on the planet, about the same as Bangladesh. Anutans have no choice but to live in harmony with nature. They've developed ways of exploiting the natural resources in their environment that can be an inspiration to all of us. This volcanic island is part of the Solomon Island archipelago, yet is so geographically remote that travel to any of the other islands is difficult. A boat may stop in as infrequently as few times a year, but the schedule varies, so islanders cannot rely on it to bring in supplies. From Honiara, the capital of the Solomon Islands, it's a 5 or 6 day sail in good conditions, which gives us time to finalize our preparations. Anthropologist Richard Feinberg is traveling with us. Dr. Feinberg is the world's expert on this island people. He knows them well and has learned their language.
I first went to Anuta in 1972 to collect data for a doctoral dissertation at the University of Chicago. I lived there for about a year. I was looking for a relatively unacculturated place, a place where people's way of life, their way of thinking, their way of relating to one another was very different from anything that we would experience in the United States, Canada, Europe.
Giving gifts to the chiefs and the clans is customary. Our presents include fish hooks, fishing line, knives, and school supplies. Only 3 groups have ever been allowed to film on the island, and we are fully aware of the heavy responsibility we bear. It's reassuring to have Dr. Feinberg with us. His knowledge and invaluable advice will guide the crew in preparing for this historic encounter.
When we get to Anuta, chances are there will be 1 or more canoes coming out to the ship. It may also be that there are a number of people who swim out to the ship. And we will probably have some sort of formal greeting ceremony with the 2 chiefs. They will be seated on a ceremonial mat, and we will be asked to crawl on our hands and knees up to where the 2 chiefs are sitting. We then press our nose to the knee of the senior chief, one at a time. The chief will probably take his hand then and put it underneath your chin and lift your face so that it's even with his, and then you press your nose to the chief's nose. The chief will lift your head out of a sense of noblesse oblige.
Well, you're almost there. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
On the morning of our 6th day at sea, there she was, magnificent, like a mirage floating above an endless ocean. Anuta.
There's a canoe approaching. Is Rick awake?
Yes.
Okay.
So should I go down here?
Sure.
When I saw the canoe come out, it just felt like a very familiar scene, something that I've seen dozens of times in different contexts. My first question was, who is in the canoe, and is it somebody I know? The last time I had seen Joseph was probably in 2000. So I didn't immediately recognize him, but I thought he might be the one coming out because his job, in part, is to greet people who come to the island.
Hey, welcome on board. Welcome on board.
In the movie?
Yeah.
I yelled down his Newton name, and he yelled back up at me, yes, and climbed aboard, and we hugged for about 5 minutes.
Ah!
We're rowed ashore in one of their traditional canoes. Some of the villagers give us their traditional welcome.
The people who are not part of the Western world, who are living in the present time, are not living fossils. They're not representatives of what people were like centuries ago, and we're not stepping back in time. They're very much part of today's world, but they're a different part from what most people with access to televisions have the opportunity to observe. They have children who go to school. They do recognize the value of money. They do recognize the value of modern medicine. They're concerned with travel and adventure and many of the same kinds of things that people in our part of the world are concerned about.
Joseph told me that there are probably 300 people.
The population is a serious issue here.
Yeah.
When I was first on Anuta, there were only about 150 people living on the island. So in 2 generations, the population has doubled.
Which is a lot for, a small island like this.
That's
with
right,
limited
yes.
resources.
And even in 2000, when I was here, people were not complaining about the resources, but it was just getting crowded to the point where people were a bit concerned about their privacy, which I found a little odd because privacy is much less of an issue in a place like this than it is in Canada or the US. But even people here were thinking that the place was getting too crowded. I am delighted to be here. I have only been here once in the past decade. It's a bit of a shock to come here and realize that I don't know most of these people because the children were born after the last time I was here, and people's names change periodically. When they get married, they change their name. So it takes me a few minutes to figure out just who a person is. With Samoa. Hey! Father John. I knew him first as a child. I was very touched at seeing the way that he's matured into a thoughtful, responsible leader of the community. Yeah?
We approached the chiefs with some trepidation. Back in 1972, when Dr. Feinberg first visited the island, the senior chief took him under his wing. Not only did he teach him all about the island's unique culture, but he also made him his brother.
My first feeling was that my brother had aged a great deal since the last time I saw him. But he's just as sharp and thoughtful, just as much of a forceful presence as ever. I think that the bond between the two of us on a purely personal level has just continued to grow. My Canada. Matotaranga, the maple leaf. When Christmas? If you are the oldest son of the current chief, you have a pretty good chance of becoming the next chief. If you're in a different line, if you can't trace your ancestry or your parentage directly to a chief, then you are not going to be a chief. In terms of the social structure, there is really a surprising amount that has remained almost completely intact. They have a lot of social support. The idea of somebody being alone and neglected is almost unthinkable on Anuta, whereas it's all too common in our part of the world. So in that sense, perhaps yes, Anutans may be happier than we are.
Joseph, an Anutan who has lived in the city and speaks English, will be our guide throughout our stay. Members of the crew will be able to get to know the island and the warmth of the islanders.
Okay, we're going to the welcome banquet. The whole crew is invited onto the island. There will be traditional singing, there'll be ceremonial speeches, and then a banquet they've prepared for us. We'll obviously follow Joseph's instructions on what to do, but you'll see it's a very nice village, very well organized. Try to really make the most of the occasion because it's a privilege for all of us to experience something like this.
Anutans share a common value based on cooperation, sharing, and compassion for others. This philosophy, called Aropa, is a basic principle for Anutans. Here, traditions still play an important role, and they are handed down from generation to generation.
I was skeptical. Is this a real tradition? Or are we just being made fools of by a bunch of people deliberately faking it? It quickly became apparent that that wasn't the case.
Happiness is a major value for Anutans. If you ask them why they do things in a particular way, why they perform certain customs, there are two stock answers that they give. One is because it's the ancient custom of our island. The other is to make us happy.
It was a wonderful surprise. We all had a great time. We never expected such a warm welcome.
I loved it. Anuta was terrific. They really made us feel welcome. And they were really considerate, really nice. I don't think there's anything phony about it at all. I think it's a good example to follow.
Following an age-old tradition, the 300 islanders came to greet us, one by one. This close contact greeting, called piquita, is a kind of nose kiss that allows you to penetrate the other person's bubble. Though unable to communicate with words, we felt a human warmth that went straight to our hearts.
Indescribable.
It's very moving.
An energy from your people that is very hard to describe with words.
No problem.
It just was a very intense feeling.
And we are not looking for difference, but we are looking for unity.
Yes, yes.
Unity. Only the baby face.
C'est très difficile de mettre des mots.
It's hard to put into words because it's so moving,
Très émotif, je suis encore
intensely emotional.
bouleversé. Je pense que
I'm still caught up in it. I think the best word,
dès qu'on a commencé à s'avancer dans
when
le
we
chant,
approached,
puis qu'on a commencé à
as soon as they started to sing,
il y avait vraiment
there was really,
que toutes les barrières,
it was as
tout
if
ça,
all
c'est parti
barriers fell
de
away,
quelque chose, de
and there was
l'expérience.
just this experience.
Je me suis dit,
And I said to myself, just let it go and take it all in.
et je me suis mis à pleurer.
And I started to cry.
Ça fait je sais pas combien de temps qu'on dit qu'on est privilégié.
I don't know how many times we've heard that it's a privilege to be here,
Je me suis vraiment,
but I truly feel privileged.
vraiment.
Truly.
C'est-
C'est vrai que j'aime bien ce
It's true, I like this way of greeting. You fully get who the person is. You're in contact with both the physical being and the psychic entity.
Mais en même temps,
But at the same time, they're very respectful.
spirituel.
Nice to see you.
The arrival of the church occurred not too long after a pretty devastating famine. And when something like that happens, people start to question the efficacy of the old religion. The church preaches love and support. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And Anutans were able to look at their own traditional value of aropa, and they could say, in essence, we were Christians before the church appeared.
The chief invited us to his leaf house and agreed to speak of the past, about the time not so long ago when life here was very different.
Koto tukutukunga ne lalei pe ne kovi it penwane ke manatu.
Yes, they certainly did. In the old days, when strangers came to the island, we would kill them.
A good thing for us.
Yes.
The community here has a great relationship with nature. You know, you can find your food, your house, everything come from nature. Didn't you see any changes over time? Is there less fish, less bird? Is it much harder than before?
It seems to me that there are more fish than there used to be. But on the other hand, there are fewer birds than before.
Ko te pāua ne ka langa I te watia I mua rake watia ne pai te onge. Pakapea mo te watia te rotu koitue au ki te penua nei. Kai kaumana tūpoki ki rake watia I anga o nei.
There have been famines in the past, but things are better now. I remember one famine when people had to eat dirt to survive. But now that the church has come here, there are fewer famines. Our current God protects us better than the old one did.
It's a very small island, and there's more and more people. Is he anxious about that?
The population of the island is increasing, but we don't worry about it. We have to accept and love all those who wish to come here.
What is the importance of nature for human?
The way I look at it, The purpose of nature is to sustain life. Nature provides all our daily necessities, but it also gives us whatever we need to defend ourselves against her rages.
Well, thanks him very much, and I hope that he will have a long, long life.
He already has.
We spent time, lots of time, with islanders who quickly became friends. They asked us to tell them who we were, what we're doing, and they did the same. In a world where barriers between individuals seem non-existent, perhaps because of Europa, the life principle based on respect and compassion. On Anuta, hunting means only one thing. Catching birds is an ancient practice which takes place at night at the top of a cliff where terns and other seabirds nest.
Every hunter has his own way of calling birds. The idea is to try to attract them here, so they'll fly right over our heads. They have long poles with nets at the end. They try to catch them and fly.
I think they're quite conscious of their relationship with the environment. There isn't any point in continuing to catch fish or hunt birds if they have as much as they can use. But they also know that the supply is limited, and if they overfish or if they overhunt, that they can damage the supply in the long run, and it'll be a problem.
Fishing is the main activity on Anuta, and their survival depends on it. Anutans are remarkable swimmers, and their thorough knowledge of the coral reefs that encircle the island is impressive.
Anuta is very remote, probably about as remote as any place you can find on Earth, and they are pretty much self-sufficient. In some ways, that self-sufficiency is a little bit of an illusion, because they catch fish with metal fish hooks and monofilament fishing line. They use waterproof flashlights to hunt fish and collect shellfish at night. When they go to work in the garden, they use metal knives and axes. So it's not completely cut off in that sense. Food is incredibly important to the Anutans. Food is connected with the idea of life. We think of somebody dying when the person stops breathing, when the heart stops beating. The Anutans, at least traditionally, regarded the point of death as coming when the person could no longer eat.
Anutans use a variety of fishing techniques, depending on fluctuations in temperature, wave strength, and tides. These techniques were developed to ensure a steady food supply, no matter what the weather and environmental conditions. Here they eat anything, as long as they limit the catch to the needs of the community.
If the population grows too fast, the results could very well be disastrous. There has to be some way of controlling the resident population. Somehow the population has to be kept in balance with what the environment has to provide.
Farming is vital for Anutans. At the top of the island, each extended family has a garden that provides the food needed to feed its members. They mainly grow manioc, taro, and some fruit such as bananas and papaya. Crop rotation keeps the soil in good condition. To ward against famine and natural disaster, Anutans store a paste made of manioc or taro, which ferments in the ground. Called ma, this food can stay buried for several years before being eaten. Anutans know the value of money, but they don't use it in their daily lives. However, they have set up a student association so that young people can go to school off-island.
I live here and then I go over to Honiara. I go school in the vocational school in Aftara. It's a technical school. I pick up a course as a mechanic, and then I finished, and then I work in Honiara. It's about 9 years. I came back because I went to look after my parents, and then because they're getting old, so I think it's a big responsibility for me because I'm their kid and their kid. So when I become a man, I have to look after them as they look after me when I was a kid. Life here is very different compared to town. I mean, to Honiara. Honiara is so much noisy. Sometimes you don't know what will happen to you. You don't know. I mean, there are lots of people, and you don't know what they're in their mind, whether you are safe, really safe or not. But here, you feel safe because you know everybody. Here, you understand all the people. You receive everything free. I mean, you don't have to pay for your food. You just work for it. And you go anywhere you like without paying your transport and something like that.
The island's supply of large trees is limited. When a tree is felled to make a canoe, it becomes a full member of the extended family.
So, Joseph, that was his canoe, right?
Yes, this canoe.
That's the oldest canoe.
That's the oldest canoe.
When was it built?
Late 18th, I think. They only use stone axes and also fire. Made the fire and burned the old.
Okay. So that means that you took good care of it because
Yes.
I mean it's.
We treat the canoe as human being too, especially. Because that is the only way for us to go as far as Fatutaka by canoe.
So this canoe was made from one single tree, right?
Yes.
This is over a century old, and it's still used for inter-island voyaging. I've never come across any place where canoes are kept this long or where people put this much effort into taking care of them.
This is the only way for us to get fish from the sea.
If a canoe is damaged to the point where it can't be repaired, they hold a funeral for the canoe. very much like the funeral that they would hold for a deceased relative.
The amazing thing is that they use the island as an orientation point. They'll use the trees at the top of the mountain to find their approximate position out at sea. Then, one person jumps into the water to locate the reef exactly. Their fishing technique is very simple. They use fishing lines and hooks. And for bait, they mainly use pieces of octopus or squid. Simple, but so effective. We're now directly over the reef. You can see the bottom, and they really make it look easy. When you see the map they've drawn of the coral reef, you realize that this little island includes an area that's underwater. So for them, the island is not as small as it looks to us. It's surrounded by coral reef that they know very well, and the size of the island extends to encompass all of that.
Anutans have mentally charted all the coral reefs and fishing zones in order to manage them sustainably. This vital knowledge, passed down through the generations, is at the heart of their survival.
For us, it's very important that we manage how we catch fish. You see here, I think sometimes we put boundaries. Nobody can fish in it. And then it's about a year or 1.5, and then you can go back and harvest. They open it up, and everybody can go. Fish is bigger, and we have enough.
It's amazing to see how fast we can move under sail. It's impressive.
Their isolation and enforced self-governance led naturally to sustainable development practices, essential to the survival of all the inhabitants of this ecosystem. It's our last day on Anuta. A certain sadness overtakes the crew. We've discovered far more than a fine example of balanced natural resource use. We will soon be taking leave of friends with whom we have shared openly, unreservedly. The Anutans insisted that the whole crew attend the farewell ceremony, a grand traditional banquet which will proclaim our status as new residents of the island.
I think everyone was impressed at how warm and welcoming they were. It's not always the case on ships, but we proved we're a good team. Interested, curious, we were willing to try anything they offered us. Eager, in fact.
The farewell ceremony was pretty intense, I'd say powerful. Something we'll remember for the rest of our lives. We were a bit worried at first because we didn't know what to expect. But they are an incredibly welcoming people, very open, and it's clear they love their island.
Dressed in traditional garb, we start the farewell ceremony by a ceremonial tour of the entire island for a detailed look at our new home, bequeathed to those who have understood and accepted the unique way of life on Anuta.
The last day on Anuta was a real privilege. We were escorted by the whole village on a ceremonial walk around the island. As if the act of leaving footprints in the sand would give us a deeper insight into what the island was all about. They wanted us to soak it all in one last time.
Our imprint will remain on the island and in the hearts of the islanders. Through their generosity, openness, and their traditions, they've taught us almost forgotten principles about the relationship of humans with the natural world. But above and beyond a harmonious relationship with the environment, we've seen and learned a great deal about basic human nature.
In some ways, they don't have a lot of choice. They can't snap their fingers and become people of New York or Chicago. That's not going to happen, and they know it. On the other hand, they probably wouldn't really want to transform their island into a mini New York or a mini Chicago. They are making conscious choices. Their choices are not infinite. They know that they're constrained, but they also have made a decision that custom is important to them, and they want to try to hang on to it as much as they possibly can.
We prepared gifts for the extended families, for the children, and for the little island school. A length of fishing line, fish hooks, knives, everyday items that may seem ordinary to us, but that are far more valuable here. In keeping with tradition, we also visited each of the families and ate with them, very much in the spirit of Europa, where everyone is welcomed and treated as an equal. At the end of the parting feast, everyone joined in the dance. It was a sort of mass revel in which joy and laughter are part of an emotional process that leads up to the lamentation. Traditional belief holds that gathering to weep for loved ones in this way lets people release the pain and sorrow of parting.
There's always a feeling that this could be my last time. It's so hard to get to that you never know if you're going to be able to come back. And because of all of that, it's always an overwhelming emotional experience to arrive and then again to leave.
We came to learn about their way of living in harmony with nature. But we're leaving with far more, with a deep sense of principle and values, which we know not how or why have renewed our faith in life. We set sail for the island of Sumatra. This island, like the rest of Indonesia, is at the mercy of large corporations who raise and burn the rich Indonesian forests, turning them into vast monocultures. These practices, often dubious, threaten the survival of the last Sumatran elephant populations, a species critically endangered. Over the past 75 years, 80% of the population of Sumatran elephants have disappeared. We arrive at Riau province, in the central part of eastern Sumatra. Prior to 1982, 80% of this territory consisted of primary tropical forests. A haven for many species, Indonesia's forests are home to nearly 15% of all living species on the planet. In the 1980s, the Indonesian government gave most of its forest concessions to large companies that have raised, burned, and converted it into monocultures. Today, the production of palm dominates, but the land is also used for lumber and pulp and paper production. Over the past 25 years, 70% of the elephant's territory has been destroyed.
During our trip in Indonesia, in both Borneo and the island of Sumatra, we've seen ancient forests cut down and really ravaged land, where all the water was removed from the soil to dry out and eventually give way to monocultures that are now the basis of the Indonesian economy.
Companies producing palm oil ransack the forests and the valuable peatlands of Sumatra in order to develop palm plantations, which now stretch out as far as the eye can see. Recently, other concessions were granted to large corporations. And if nothing is done to stop this massacre, there will soon be no more of this pristine habitat for the species of Sumatra. The Drupe's palm produces palm oil, the most used vegetable oil in the world. It is found everywhere, in food, cosmetics, and biofuels. More than half of the food products in our supermarkets contains this palm oil. The rapid deployment of these monocultures at the expense of the forest is growing. Each year, approximately 2 million hectares of forests are cut and burned. In terms of area, it is the equivalent of 6 football fields disappearing every minute. Sunarto is an Indonesian biologist who works for the World Wildlife Fund. A specialist in elephants and Sumatran tigers, Sunarto agreed to accompany us during this expedition into the heart of what remains of the Indonesian forests.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this.
These trees look older than the other, right?
Yes. Many are just recently planted here. You can see here the age or the height of the plants are different from the place over here that we can tell.
All that was forest before, not a long time ago.
Yeah, until 1982, more than 80% of the land of Riau province was forest until 1982 also. And you can see here the smoke over there.
Yep.
There's still some areas that are still under the process of the deforestation.
Oh, yeah.
And typically the conversion from forest into the oil palm involves the burning.
All the animals, they had no other choice but leave the area or even
Leave or
die.
Yeah.
Scientists estimate that between 80 and 90% of all forest species will die during these clear cuts. The international scientific community has reacted strongly to the planned massacre of Indonesian forests. They have lobbied the Indonesian government to protect its forests and its biodiversity. Parks were then created to preserve what had not already been destroyed. But the safeguards were never met. Some companies are still continuing production within park boundaries, and small farmers, frustrated by an economy that offers little advantage for them, began to illegally exploit patches of protected land to plant palm trees. Indonesian authorities turn a blind eye. Drupe's palm produced by local farmers will be purchased by the large corporations complicit in the destruction of the last remaining patches of protected forest.
Wow.
Yeah, look at this fresh fruit bunch of the oil palm. Yeah, and it has to be processed really quickly. So
Okay.
it cannot stay for too long, otherwise the quality will be really bad. That's why it is important to have the mills close enough to the plantation area. Yeah.
And there's 2 types of oil, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 kinds. First is made from the outer part of the skin, and the other is from the inside, the inner, which is the kernel. Yeah, and the kernel palm oil. They are made for higher quality products like probably cosmetics or like the chocolate mix for chocolate, high quality food. Yeah.
So not long time ago, that was a virgin forest.
Yes, as we can tell here, there are some leftover trees here, the died trees. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
This tree.
And it's amazing, It's so quiet. You know, there's no life here.
Yeah, at this time of day, if we were in the forest, like maybe 20 years ago,
Yeah.
it would have been much different, right? I mean, a lot of noise we can expect from the rainforest, but here at this time of day when animals supposed to be hungry and looking for food, we barely hear any. Except like few birds that are singing. Yeah, very common bird.
So there's no room anymore for tiger or
Well, for tiger it'll be too open. Yeah, the tiger needs somewhere to hide, right? Yeah.
Life has disappeared at the heart of the palm groves. Only a few years ago, the plant and animal species formed a complete ecosystem, unrivaled in its wealth anywhere else on the planet. The national parks should ensure the conservation of these species, but the lack of competent authorities on the ground has given free rein to poachers, who have destroyed all conservation efforts. Created in 2004, the Tesonilo National Park was to protect 1,000 square kilometers of forest. Today, about 80% of the park is now exploited illegally by poachers. It is near the Tesonilo Park that the World Wildlife Fund has developed a special patrol. The Elephant Brigade is known here as the Flying Squad and regularly intervenes to keep wild elephants away from plantations situated on the outskirts of the national park.
There used to be around 4,000 Sumatran elephants back in the mid-80s. Rough calculation now, the population is just around 1,000 left. And there are possibly around 500 in captivities now.
Wow, that's
This
big.
is Rahman.
Hi, Rahman.
Hello.
Hi. How old is he?
He's around 32 years old.
And that's a female?
And the female here, Lisa. And the baby, Imbo. Hey, Lisa.
Hi. Hi, baby. Look at this. Come.
The baby, Imbo.
Come, Imbo.
Almost
Come
3
here.
years old.
Come here. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
You okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Good. Okay, we can go. Jalan.
When did you start the Flying Squad?
Well, we started the early 2004.
And what was the goal of the Flying Squad?
The initial goal was pretty simple. We faced a lot of problems of human-elephant conflict where a lot of wild elephants come outside of their habitats because of the increasing area becoming plantations.
Yeah, because they don't have anywhere to go anymore.
Yes, and having this squad where we train the elephants to chase the wild elephant back to their natural habitat will help reduce the conflict and reduce the victim from both sides, humans and the elephant at the same time. And mind your head here, the gate is not that high compared to the elephant.
Well, your elephant is much bigger than mine, actually.
Yes, and I have to do this to make me safe. It's tough being elephant here in central Sumatra, especially in Balai Raja, where their habitat is almost totally converted into oil palms. Despite the situation, they still are surviving.
The Elephant Brigade must complete a rigorous training to respond to the commands of their mahouts. A special relationship based on respect and mutual trust is essential to enable the patrol to act effectively in all situations.
We patrol areas where the plantations are close to Tesonilo Park. We try to prevent elephants from entering plantations and destroy everything. That is why we use guns. The noise frightens them and makes them flee.
Without the intervention of the patrol, conflict escalates rapidly, often resulting in the deliberate poisoning of elephants that threaten plantations. Poisoned fruit is used as bait and gives the elephants no chance. They die for simply wandering onto cropland. The victims are many, and the education of the locals would perhaps be the only salvation for the last wild Sumatran elephants.
Not all villagers prey on elephants. We should be able to treat them the same way we treat humans.
Elephants are highly migratory and require large territories. They form herds that can reach up to 15 individuals. Even within the park, elephants are increasingly confined because of illegal logging. They sometimes venture into cultivated areas, creating problems with squatters who want to protect their plantations.
When the park was established, the park was already in a very bad condition at that time. So basically almost like land of nobody, and that's why these encroachers started to come. So the encroachers that were already there at that time become even more rampant because they possibly invite more people, and now almost 80% of the area is now gone and turned into oil palm mainly. Duduk, Bro.
This is quite amazing.
Yes.
In the heart of the park, another patch of forest is ravaged, burnt, the first step before planting palm trees.
Who did this?
This area, what I heard is done by the local people here, not far from this area, that they still believe that this area is still part of their customary land.
But is there any police or park gardens around?
Yes, there are, but it's not enough and not efficient enough, I think, in dealing with very complex ways of forest destruction in this area. It's so complex. People who are in the field are basically, generally, are just poor people that happen to need some money or just to sustain their life. The process not only caused the deforestation and the degradation or even extinction of some species, but also the smoke, for example, when during the dry seasons, there usually the area is full of smoke, and we also suffer from smoke even for the people in the cities, even the neighboring countries also suffer from smoke because of this kind of process.
Although the process is illegal, they burn the forest to simplify the logging operation. The CO2 accumulated throughout the life of a tree is released into the atmosphere, contributing significantly to global warming. To help protect the last wild elephants, Sunarto's team used collars to track their movements.
Hey, we've got the coordinate for the elephant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Here. This is where the elephant is, and our camp is here.
So it's not too far.
So it's about 1 hour drive.
So should we go?
Yep, I think so. The sooner the better.
Great.
In addition to the flying squad, we also have a patrolling team that regularly patrol wider areas to detect the whereabouts of the wild elephant. So ideally, we know first the movement of the wild elephant before they go into plantation areas, because once they are in the plantation areas, it will be more difficult to drive them out of that. So the best would be to detect them first and prevent them from even entering. Because this is the time when they just basically wake up from the sleep during the hot day. And they usually want water to have and enjoy it for a while. So yeah, that's the situation.
Okay.
A receiver picks up a signal from the radio collar on an elephant. It guides the team through a grove of acacia trees, widely used by the pulp and paper industry. No doubt, the feces are fresh. We are on the right track.
Kedengeran detak-detak. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
An elephant has come to eat the fiber just under the bark of this tree. This kind of damage provokes the ire of the plantation owners.
Looks like something else.
That's big.
Yes.
It's not a small elephant.
Although this is not the biggest. We used to have bigger one, but yeah.
That's pretty big. Look at this.
Yeah, step on it. Feel it.
Excitement grips the group as we approach. Wild elephants are constantly hunted by poachers and have become aggressive towards anyone who confronts them in their territory. There it is, so close. Avoid any confrontation.
It's a funny feeling when you are in front of them because there is a lot of emotion. We are facing a huge beast, and at one point, there was an exchange of eye contact. We didn't know whether to stay or run away, but the feeling is quite difficult to describe. A mix of fear and mutual respect, all in one look. It's really fascinating. An unforgettable moment stuck in my memory for the rest of my days.
It's their way.
In the end, there were 13 of them. It was pretty amazing, a truly incredible moment, a unique instant, because these elephants, they are wild and of course, they don't want contact with humans. And thanks to our guides, we were able to follow them. It was really an amazing moment.
This special meeting with the last wild Sumatran elephants helps us understand the importance of the program for the protection and prevention of conflict established by the World Wildlife Fund. The success of the Elephant Brigade is based on close ties between the animals and their mounts. The daily bath helps build these essential links between elephants and their mahouts. This special moment, almost intimate, allows us to witness the intelligence of these exceptional animals. To protect the last wild elephants, the flying squad regularly patrols the boundaries of Tesonilo Park to prevent potential conflict between farmers and animals on the move.
So Sumatra, what are we looking for exactly during a patrol like this?
Well, we do the patrolling twice a week, and we checking around in the area whether there is any recent elephant visit. What I mean is wild elephant visits to near this area,
yeah,
and talking with farmers if they have any problem with crop raiding by elephants.
Is there lots of conflicts between wild elephant and humans around here?
Oh yes, yes, definitely, because of this very close boundaries between the forest, the elephant habitats, and the plantation areas.
Yeah. So your role really is to push back the wild elephant in the national park.
Yes, as much as possible, we would like to, well, the flying squad team would like to prevent it from, prevent the wild elephant from even coming into the plantation areas.
Yeah.
Because once they're in, it will be more difficult to drive them back. So if we can, we will do as much as possible.
There are some locals in front.
Yes, let's talk to them.
Yeah. All right. I'm John.
Makasih, Ndro.
Pak Budia. Nice to meet you.
Pak, pagi, Pak. Selamat pagi. Atau Pak. Ya, selamat pagi, Pak.
So, Sunarto, did they have any problem with elephant here before? Did they see elephant around?
Pak, di sini gajah liar pernah datang nggak, Pak, ke kebun Bapak di sini?
Sering juga, sila cuma satu-satu.
Yes. There is one that wanders around here regularly, a large male.
Kerusakan yang ditimbulkan seperti apa, Pak?
Yes, he's caused damage in rubber plantations and also destroyed clusters of palm trees. Despite this, we have the utmost respect for these elephants. They are a bit like our grandparents.
And can we see any damage around here that, wild elephant did?
Ada bekas-bekas kerusakan yang disebabkan gajah nggak, Pak, di sekitar sini?
Walk on this side. You will see.
Sana, Pak. Let's go.
Every day, an adult elephant will consume between 150 and 200 kilograms of plants of all kinds. If it cannot find its daily ration within the park, it wanders off in search, often penetrating into the plantations.
Wow. An elephant did that?
Yes.
Wow.
They're very, very powerful, especially if they want something they want to get.
Like what? Like food?
In many cases, like the elephant look for either food or salt. They really like salt, the mineral. Yeah. Pak, setelah kejadian seperti ini,
Are you bitter towards the elephants who destroyed your home?
Dendam kah atau seperti apa, Pak, rasanya, Pak?
Of course not. They didn't know it was a house. They were looking for food, that's all.
The educational work of the flying squad seems to be working here. near the WWF camp. But conservation efforts are not appreciated by all. The mahouts sometimes take great risks, and their lives are often threatened by poachers. Many illegals have organized themselves into stronghold villages and claim ownership of the protected forests.
These people are not happy with what we work. We try to stop the deforestation, which means that we are stopping somebody from doing business. And for sure, they're not happy with that. And what they did was kidnapping one of our team members.
The destruction of the habitat doesn't only affect the populations of wild elephants. Sumatran tigers, another species critically endangered, struggle to survive in what remains of the forests.
In 1900, there were still more than 100,000 individuals of tigers in the world. And now the latest estimate in 2010 or so was only about 3,000 individuals left.
Sunarto and his team have established a catalog identifying the last Sumatran tigers. They can accurately track the growth of the population that took refuge in what remains of the Teso Nilo Park.
Keberadaan harimau dari tanda jejak dan sebagainya, terus teman-teman memasang kamera trap. GPS, okay?
This is WWF camera trapping team. The tiger team that is trying to estimate the tiger population in this area in Teso Nilo National Park.
Okay.
Siap. Sip. Lanjut. Oke, semua siap? Oke ya, lanjut.
How do you choose a good spot for a camera trap?
There are many things to consider for that. First of all, is it a good trail where you find a lot of animal signs there that the tiger will likely to pass?
Yeah, so you will choose a passing site or even a resting site?
Yes, and passing site will be the more likely place that we will find, yeah.
Masuk dalam grid nggak di titik ini nggak?
That's a good spot.
Jadi GPS ada nggak?
Can be. So we have a curve here, especially for video. It will give the opportunity for us to capture the tiger scenes from there, and the other camera that will have a still image will capture the full frame also from here. That way we can identify the individual more surely. The situation for Sumatran tiger, the latest estimate was around 400 individuals, and now I think with the forest being converted so widely, we figured that the number is much lower than that.
A census of these remaining tigers by motion detection cameras takes weeks to complete. There is no respite for the team. Again tonight, the brigade must intervene. Elephants were seen on the edge of a large plantation. A team is quickly dispatched to the scene. Motorcycles are preferred to elephants for this risky nighttime operation. The traces left by the passage of the herd are obvious. Sunarto is called in as backup. The team will try to scare the elephants using guns. The noise scares the animals, but no one can predict which way they will go.
ya?
Iya, sedikit sampingnya.
Oke.
In the early morning, the team goes in search of the elephants to see if their actions of the previous night helped move the herd to a safe area, far from the plantations.
So the elephants are on the other side of the river.
Yes, they are. The herds are across the river. Yeah, the farmer just told me that they just went across the river this morning.
Okay.
And by this time of day, we should expect that they cross this place to find a more shady place for them to rest.
So they are in a plantation right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But that's another plantation on the other side.
Yeah, that's the problem here. Yeah, everywhere is plantation, so it's hard for the elephant.
Yeah.
We are just at the limit of Balaraja National Park, and we hear farmers who are attempting to hunt elephants off the plantations. Part of the herd just crossed the river. It now requires a lot of caution because obviously these elephants have become aggressive towards humans as they are constantly being pushed out of the plantations.
Challenge here is that to chase the elephant, you need to direct them to a place that is safe. But here there is almost nowhere they can go.
The owner of the plantation company has deployed a group of workers to hunt elephants in the palm grove. This small army, equipped with fireworks, stalk and surround the elephants, who don't know where to go. A sad circus in nature, where the elephants have become the victims of a real hunting party.
Normally when you come in forest to see wildlife, you like it, calm and quiet, and it's almost unreal.
To go here, but there's somebody there again.
Yeah. Again, they're trapped.
So many noise,
Yeah.
The elephants have left the first plantation, but must quickly turn back when faced with the attacks of the neighboring plantation workers.
We are living in like the war zone.
The fear in the eyes of these elephants, trapped between two plantations. The men regroup. The hunt is about to resume.
they keep on trying to survive despite this kind of situations. Almost every one of them got different kind of scars in their body because they've been tortured here and there. Slowly, 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 run out. Now we are safe.
Look, you know, they're right in the middle of the two plantations and they don't know where to go.
Yeah. Different people chasing from different directions, so they must be really confused.
The sad circus continues until nightfall, where each plantation owner is desperate to hunt elephants on their land. But the elephants simply have no more protected areas in which to survive. National parks such as Tesonilo are reduced to almost nothing, and the Indonesian government, complicit with the industry, continues to turn a blind eye to the illegal acts.
I have the privilege to work with these magnificent species, including elephant, tigers, and rhinos, and they are categorized as critically endangered under IUCN criteria. All of these species or subspecies are in that category now. The next step beyond that is extinct in the wild, and we really don't want them to be there.
Sunato and his team's efforts to save the last wild elephant populations are remarkable, but they are not enough. Contributing to the ever-increasing demand for palm oil for our consumption, we are all responsible for the industry's strength. But there is not only bad news for the flying squad. An elephant calf has joined the ranks of the famous brigade. Good news for a species on the brink of extinction. Surveillance cameras installed in the Tesonilo Park also show encouraging pictures. New tigers, unknown to Sunato's team, will be added to the identification catalog. A female and her young, the hope of an entire endangered species about to disappear forever. What good news for a country that so badly needs it.